Welcome, my friends, to the Bob and Brad podcast. My name is Mike Keenitz. I'm a PT assistant. Today, I'm interviewing Jordan again. She has her bachelor's in exercise science, master's in nutrition, and she is a certified personal trainer. Today, we are talking about everything intermittent fasting. So, without further ado, here is Jordan. Well, welcome back to the show, Jordan.
Hey, thanks, Mike.
So, today we are talking about intermittent fasting. So, what is intermittent fasting?
All right. So I guess, so just from a basic standpoint, intermittent fasting is kind of a big term that we're going to really kind of dive into today and break it down. But from a very general standpoint first, it's also referred to as time restricted feeding or eating. That sometimes makes more sense to me. So think of it as a compressed eating window. So where you only eat for a certain period of time during the day, and then the rest of the time you're fasting. That's one version of it. I'll go into that later. But basically, general sense, you are refraining from food and certain beverages for a set period of time, ranging from a few hours to a few days. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You probably know what intermittent fasting is, though. But
yeah, I haven't. Technically, I'm doing it right now because I haven't eaten yet today, but
there you go.
I don't really pre-plan it. All right, so how many hours should someone fast, and how long does someone need to fast before they would see any benefits?
So let's just start with like the bare minimum of this to see any sort of benefit from it or to really even call it fasting. I've done dove into this quite a bit, and I saw a lot of general trends. So first of all, bare minimum that every single person that honestly could benefit from, like we should all fast for 12 hours.
Right, not that hard.
No, it's not. And that is not even really coined as fasting. That's just what we could all benefit from as humans, to not be eating all the time. So basically, from a simple standpoint, your last meal of the day or snack is at 7:00. Don't eat till 7. I mean, that's, in my opinion, fairly easy, depending upon lifestyle. But basically, that is just enough time for your digestive system to rest and recover. So that's just bare minimum. Now, how long do you need to see benefits? So with ton of resources that I looked at, books, other podcasts, research articles, it seems like the magic number is like 16 hours fasting, 8 hours feeding.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of different ways that someone could adopt intermittent fasting into their lifestyle. So what I was just describing there is basically where kind of the traditional like intermittent fasting where it's a daily thing. So like maybe you eat from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and the rest of the time you're fasting. That's probably what you're talking about. You're doing right now.
Yeah, I kind of eat when I'm hungry. I mean, I have a flexible schedule, luckily, because I work from home. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I eat around 10 or 11 in the morning, and then I usually eat dinner. Usually I'm done eating by 6 or sometimes 7, depends. But
So you naturally just do it anyway. Or do you do that on purpose?
no, I just naturally kind of do it now. I did it on purpose when I first heard about it, and I found it because I used to do like a lot of small meals through the day, and honestly, I kind of don't like that because it's way more prep.
Yeah.
So I'd rather just eat bigger meals and just less. It just kind of naturally falls that way for me now.
Right. In this whole like compressed eating window, this is one way to do this, which I kind of want to talk about because everybody's lifestyle is different. And I have more of a flexible schedule like you too, where my hours are very odd hours. I'm not the 8 to 5 office person. So I have the ability to eat when I want to eat. So for you or I and somebody who has that flexible schedule, I think the compressed eating window, meaning like I'm only going to eat for 8 hours of the day and the other 16 hours I'm going to fast. That works really well for that kind of individual. However, there are other types and ways that you can do this. So for example, if you've heard of like alternate day fasting, so like every other day you have like your feast day and your famine day, if you will, where you would maybe just eat super low calorie. That's another, like technically, that's not my favorite way of doing it, but, or there's also the I don't love this, but the 1 meal a day, that's very trendy, hot topic too. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, they call it OMAD, OMAD.
So you would just literally would eat 1 meal a day. And I'll talk about some of the nuances later in the podcast too of some issues with that. But just know when you hear the term intermittent fasting, there's a lot of ways that somebody could do it. I think the most realistic and beneficial I'm going to call it an opinion because nutrition research is far from being done, right? But I think the 16-hour fast with the 8-hour feeding window seems to be kind of the hitting it right on the head with what's most beneficial and realistic too.
Yeah, the first book I heard on it was called, I think it was called The 8-Hour Diet. It was probably 8 years ago or so that came out. But yeah, I was kind of talking about the 16-8, which it's a little weird. And if you're starting, it's best to just wait on breakfast, I found personally. Yeah. Unless, obviously, if you work construction, maybe you want to eat breakfast. It's a little different for those people. But
that's the caveat to all of this is this topic is, and I'll get into that too, but it is so individualized. And for some people, you might be gone away from your house for 10 hours and your only chance to get a really good, decent meal that's not on the go is like eating a really good solid breakfast at home. Well, then you probably shouldn't skip breakfast. Or if you have a super active job, probably not in your best interest to skip breakfast. But if you're sitting on your butt in an office and you can just wait, there's some benefit there.
There's they didn't talk about it in the article. I don't know if you know who Metcalf is, the wide receiver for Seattle.
Oh, I'm not a big sports guy, Mike.
Oh, he's in very good shape, but he would literally go to football practice in the morning and not eat at all. And he's a big guy, but then afterwards he would buy like 2 big things of like gummy candies and then eat like a really big dinner. But he just didn't he liked to train fasted. He's kind of
okay.
It's working for him, but I would suggest people breaking their fast with 2 things of candy.
No, I would say probably not. No.
So what are the main benefits of intermittent fasting?
Yeah. So why would somebody even want to do this in the first place? Well, first of all, I'm going to touch on the fact that as a country, as a nation, we're overweight, right? I'm just saying we, in a general sense of our country, is just not healthy. Myself working in the fitness and nutrition industry, the most common thing people come to me for is weight loss. It is because unfortunately we're just not getting healthier. So intermittent fasting, I think one of the main, I don't want to call it benefit, but a lot of reason why somebody might try it in the first place is for weight loss. For one, when you have a compressed eating window, for a lot of people, it's just going to overall lower your caloric intake if you're not eating all day long. So that's one way in the mechanism of it sounds so simple, but how it will help with weight loss. It also helps to boost your metabolism as well. It helps your body turn to fat for fuel. So when you're in your fasted state, normally when we're metabolizing, we're just using up all of our glycogen stores, our sugars, carbohydrates from our diet. But when you actually stop eating for a little bit and you give your body a chance to use up those glycogen stores, it's going to actually look to fats or adipose tissue in your body as fuel and break that down. So that's another way it can help aid in weight loss.
Right. And you typically have glycogen stores still the next day. Because, I've gone running, not eaten 18 miles before, and I'm fine.
And you're okay, right?
I'm not sprinting. It's slow running, but yeah.
But you're probably a little bit more adapted to that than somebody who's just comprising 80% of their diet from carbohydrates and they
it's a little different for everyone, but
right.
And I would say, the fasting, just most people eat junk food or snacks at night when they're watching TV. So if you're like, oh, I'm not supposed to eat after dinner, it kind of eliminates all that.
Right, for sure.
So,
Well, and another thing too, with like the whole weight loss conversation, I'm going to talk about way more benefits than just weight loss, but it also, the further you get into intermittent fasting, and you can maybe attest to this, but it also helps to just reduce your cravings too. If you're not constantly feasting the entire day long, your cravings are going to go down. You can speak
Yeah.
to that.
I would say too, if you're just starting it, like when I first did it, it might be kind of weird the first few days because it's a habit of eating
Right.
snacks at night. And then once you get acclimated to it, like maybe you're hungry or crave something, but then it goes away after a little bit. And I
Right.
find if you just keep your mind occupied with something, you don't even focus on it
You don't
anymore.
think about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Or just change your habits. Because if I just sit there and watch TV, I get kind of TV's not always engaging compared to
Right.
other things. So
Right.
you like tend to want to snack then. Like I found this doing something else, like a hobby of mine, instead of watching TV for a super long time, like just I don't think about it then.
That is a great point. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's tends to be why people overeat more and overindulge on the weekends, because we're not. I
yeah,
think for some people, you're just not keeping yourself busy like you are during the week, and so you have more time to focus on that. Then, so
yeah.
yeah,
And it
no, that's
yeah.
a good little hack. Outside of just weight loss, though, there's more benefits. So if you're listening to this and you're like, I don't need to lose weight, because I know we have a ton of healthy viewers too that might be at their optimal body composition. Great. There are a lot of other benefits to it as well. So first of all, if you have any like gut or digestive health, like this is one of my, as a nutritional health coach, like one of my go-tos for people is talking about some degree of intermittent fasting, because if you actually give your gut and digestive system a break, it can improve a lot of like gut or digestive health issues. Because if we're constantly placing demands on it, like feeding ourselves all day long, it never has a chance. Just like we need to sleep and relax, your digestive system needs a break too. So,
Yeah. I would say if you get like a lot of bloat too, like that really
mhm.
helps getting a long time from not eating.
Yeah, for sure. Um, The other, like a couple other things to just kind of like spew off too, it helps to promote cellular regeneration as well. So when you're not constantly demanding your body to digest food, your body can actually take time to do other things, such as repair cells. So damaged cells in our body, it can go and clean up damage in the body. Um, it also helps to support healthy blood sugar levels as well. Helps to improve your immune health. Your immune system can actually work and amped up again when digestion can kind of settle down for a little bit. And then it's been shown too, just with helping with a lot of different heart health markers, blood markers, such as, improving your blood pressure, improving triglyceride levels, so lowering your triglycerides, improving cholesterol levels as well. There's a good deal of research on all of that. And then I can't talk about intermittent fasting without talking about brain health too. There's actually entire books that have been written on this to help with both short-term and long-term. So while you or I might not necessarily be focused on preventing dementia yet, at least I should think about that, because we're all aging, but somebody older, that's super important to think about. And there's a lot of good research going on how this can help prevent, cognitive decline or dementia. And then, but short term also helps with just focus, honestly, too.